Okay, so we're going to look at cylinders, which are three-dimensional figures that are made up of two bases that are circular shape, that are connected by a length of 9 millimeters here. We're going to discuss how to determine what the lateral surface area is and what the total surface area is of the given cylinder. So cylinders are made up of two bases that are circles, that's why it's called a cylinder, and then a height. So our bases are here and up here. They are opposite each other and they are the same shape. So we learned back in 7th grade, 6th grade, depending on where you're at, about radiuses and diameters and circumference and area of circles. So because our base right here is a circle, we're going to write just a few notes just to let us know what everything represents. So this 3 that goes from the center to the outside edge of the circle, that is called a radius. A radius measures the distance from the inside to the outer edge. So from the inside point, the exact middle of the circle, to the outer edge is called a radius. Now you also learned that it takes 2 radiuses to make a diameter. So had they given us the diameter, we would probably have to determine what the radius is as well. So 2 radiuses make a diameter, and if it gives you the diameter and it wants you to find a radius, all you would have to do is divide it by 2. In this instance, it doesn't give us that, so we are going to just use what we have. So we have the 9 here. The 9 is going to represent the height of the prism. So think about a can of Pringles. A can of Pringles sits on a circular base and it goes all the way up, and then it has a circular lid that you pop off and you eat the Pringles out of. So that's similar to this. So the height is going to go from the bottom of the can of Pringles all the way into the top of the can of Pringles. And in this case, we're going to call it 9 meters. So we're going to utilize this information to help us over here. So we learned whenever we were doing lateral surface area of prisms that lateral surface area is the perimeter of the base times the height. Well, in our instance, since the base is a circle, the perimeter of a circle has a special name. It's called the circumference. And the circumference is pi times the diameter, or circumference is 2 pi times the radius. So 2 times pi times the radius. Remember that pi is equivalent to 3.14. If you're using a calculator, you can just hit the pi button instead of typing in 3.14 and you'll get a little bit more exact answer. So we're going to utilize, instead of utilizing the perimeter of the base, we're going to use the circumference. So we're going to do the circumference of the circle times the height, or the circumference of the base times the height. So I'm going to use this formula here because it gives us the radius. So I'm going to do 2 times pi times radius, or 2 times 3.14 times 3. Circumference, and I'm going to replace this, is 2 times pi times radius. That is circumference times the height of the prism. So we're going to use this formula right here. So our lateral surface area is 2 times 3.14 times 3 times 9, because 9 is our height. So now I can multiply all of my whole numbers and then multiply it by the decimal, because my commutative property says if I'm adding or if I'm multiplying, that I can actually rearrange the numbers in any order that I want and I'm still going to get the same answer. So I'm going to put all of my whole numbers first. So 2, 3, and 9. And then I'm going to put my decimal last, because nobody really likes to deal with decimals. Decimals are kind of like the demons of math. So we have L is. So we have 2 times 3, which is 6. And then we're going to multiply that by 9. And then we're going to multiply that by 3.14. So 6 times 9 is 54. And then we're going to multiply that by 3.14. 3.14 has more digits in it. So I'm actually going to put that on top when I multiply. So the longer number is going to go on top. And then the shorter number is going to go on bottom. So I'm going to take the decimal out to begin with. So there are 2 decimal places in this number. Because there are 2 decimal places in this number, your answer has to have 2 decimal places. 4 times 4 is 16, carry a 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. Since I'm done with this 4, I'm going to mark it out and I'm going to bring down a 0. This 0 is telling me that I am moving over 1 more place value. If there were 2 more numbers here, I would drop 2 zeros. So I have 5 times 4 is 20, so I'm going to put a 0, carry a 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7, and 5 times 3 is 15. So now I'm going to add these numbers together, and then I'm going to put my 2 decimal places back in. So you see here how there's a little blank, but there's a number there. So I'm going to put a 0 there just for a placeholder, just to give me something in that spot. 6 plus 0 is 0. I'm sorry, it's 6. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 7 is 9. 1 plus 5 is 6. And 0 plus 1 is 1. So I'm going to put those 2 decimal places in now. So I'm going to start on the right-hand side. I'm going to go 1, 2. So my lateral surface area, the surface area of just the edge of the Pringles can, so not including the metal bottom and not including the plastic top, just that cardboard tubing, is going to be 169.56. So the lateral surface area, or the surface area of just the sides of the circular cylinder, is 169.56 meters squared. So that is my lateral surface area. Now, I'm going to find my total surface area. So the total surface area is going to take the area of the sides and the area of those 2 bases. So if you think about your Pringles can again, I'm going to take the cardboard that wraps around, that's my lateral surface area. I'm going to add my metal bottom and my plastic lid. And that's going to be my total surface area, is all of that combined, because the word total means everything combined. So total surface area is 2 times pi times radius times the height. This right here is your lateral surface area. So I'm not going to go back and recalculate all of that because I've already done that over here. So I'm going to take my lateral surface area, which is 169.56, and I'm just going to plug it in over here. So 169.56. Remember, 2 times pi times radius times the height is 169.56, which is your lateral surface area. And then over here, this is going to be 2 times the area of your bases. Okay? So we learned to get area of a circle, it is pi r squared. So that's the area of one circle. But there's a 2 because I have 2 circles that make up my cylinder. So I have 2 times 3.14 times 3 times 3. Now, order of operations says that I have to do all of my multiplication first before I can do any adding. And then my commutative property says that I can change these numbers around, rearrange them to make my life a little bit easier, but still get the exact same answer. So my total surface area is 169.56 plus 2 times 3 times 3 times 3.14. This right here is this exact numbers, just in a different order. So I have a 2, I have a 3, I have a 3, and I have a 3.14. Your commutative property says that this is okay to do. Make your life as easy as you can when you can. So my total surface area is 169.56 plus 2 times 3, which is 6, times 3 times 3.14. And I'm just doing one step at a time so you can see where all these numbers are coming from. So this 2 times 3 is that 6. And then I'm left with a 3 and a 3.14. So my total surface area is 169.56 plus 6 times 3, which is 18, times 3.14. You don't have to write out all of these steps. I'm just doing it for instructional purposes. So total surface area is 169.56 plus, and I need to do 3.14 times 18. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put the longer number on top, which is 3.14, and the shorter number on bottom, which is 18. You notice that there are 2 decimal places in this number, so my answer has to have 2 decimal places. 8 times 4 is 32, carry a 3. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Because I am done with this 8, I'm going to mark it out, and I'm going to bring down a 0. So I'm done with this whole column because I am moving over to the tens place. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 3 is 3. Now I'm going to add these 2 rows together. 2 plus 0 is 2, 1 plus 4 is 5, 5 plus 1 is 6, 2 plus 3 is 5. And then I'm going to put in my 2 decimal places. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go 1, 2. So the area of your 2 bases combined is 56.52. Now, this is the area of the cardboard of your Pringles can, or the laterals, the side of it. And this is the area of the 2 bases, the bottom circle and the top circle combined. So now to get a total, that's where this plus comes in, because when you get a total of anything, you're adding. So I'm going to add 169.56 plus 56.52. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to take these 2 numbers and combine them. I'm going to put an imaginary 0 there. Okay, so I have 6 plus 2 is 8. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry a 1. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 6 is 16. Carry a 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 5 is 12. Carry a 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. And then I'm going to bring this decimal straight down. So the total surface area of this cylinder right there is 226.08 meters squared. And that's how you find lateral surface area and total surface area of a cylinder.